everybody.
deal.
As
I
I
didn't
said
notice that.
yesterday, and I think that's about what happened. Bit of a risk trade as well into the weekend, and yesterday we didn't need that risk anymore. US yield stabilizing. People got out of what they bought too many, and 23.5. That's where I know the trend line is a bit lower, but that's going to go lower and lower, right? But I still think
Yeah.
23.5. 3 times now we came back on it. 3 times it bounces.
1, 2, 3.
That's what we are watching, and just below 23.47, 45 perhaps.
Yeah.
That's what we're watching now. I think for as long as that holds, nothing changes in my mind. Yeah, we will see what Powell has to say in about half an hour. Whether he swallows what he said in Sintra, being a little less hawkish, and we will see what he's coming up with. So, if he's a little more hawkish than what he was in Sintra, then I think we're going probably for a walk below that support line. But
Yeah, more and more people are coming around to the cut in September. Surprise would be at this meeting, wouldn't it?
the surprise
Would be if he cut at this July
it's
meeting.
not a surprise anymore. We are now well over 50% expectations for a cut in September. Yesterday, we were.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. The surprise would be if he did it tomorrow.
I don't think we're there yet, but no. The big surprise.
Well, I don't think he would. That's why it would be a surprise, right? Because no one's expecting it tomorrow. I don't either. But
well, tomorrow, you mean at the end of the month, on the 31st?
I thought we had a Fed meeting this week.
No, we have Powell speaking in front of
Oh,
the
that's it.
Senate
Okay.
committees.
All right.
So he won't announce anything of the likes. I guess he's always he's very used in walking both sides of the aisle and trying to be very careful in his words. No, but it's since the market is pricing in September now to a fair degree. The surprise would be that they didn't do anything, that he comes out a little more hawkish. That's going to be the risk for most of the dollar pairs right now, because yeah, we had that bit of a dollar sell-off and then coming gradually back. So yeah,
Okay.
we'll see what he says.
Okay. All right. Thank you, George. See how much I follow all the fundamental stuff. Pretty weak bounce in Canada so far compared to its last trip down to 36. It really came out of the hole. This is more of a grinder. I'm not saying we can't get up to, 660, 680, even, in here, but still think that a breakdown is coming under 136. Any view on the euro giving back a little, cable giving back a little, Aussie giving back a little? I'm leaning towards you buy a break in Aussie, if you get it down here, 67 to 680.
Good level.
I would try it.
Yeah, good level, that 67 now. It's yeah, I'm still in that camp as well. Little long, looking to perhaps add on 67 and then see what happens if and when we get and why we get down there. I'm still in that camp. But cable is a little. Cable is walking again together with the euro. We had this spike up to 128.5 close, and now we are like giving back some. I think the euro is still those underlying mess in France. Germany not doing great either. I'm not a fan of euro. If I want to be short a dollar, it's not going to be against euro because I still think euro is not ripe or is not good enough to be long off. But that's my personal view, of course.
Dixie, there's some pretty good confluence up here. I don't think we should close back over 106 again. So,
well, Dale, I was just looking, the gold at the 618, the dollar hit the 618, and we hit a bounce from there. That's the low. at
Right.
104.80. So it's like you have those coinciding at the same time. You probably got to pivot right at the same time. I'm assuming I wasn't in front of the computer, but I'm assuming that's what happened.
Oh, that's a great observation. Yeah, it wasn't much. I mean, the dollar bounced 20 pips compared to a $35 decline in gold was, kind of outsized for what the dollar did, I think, to rally 30 points in the dollar compared to over $30 in gold. Anyway, keep an eye on that breakout, see if it's negated. The S&Ps keep marching on. I think we're reaching, one thing I have to say is, and maybe it is going to make a new high, but it's the first time I can remember in quite some time that the market kept making new highs without the king. So I think that's unusual. And I was thinking about this. You know how optimistic everyone came in to this year on the Russell? I mean, there were guys talking about the Russell doubling this year.
Oh
They
yeah,
thought, you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah. So I mean, look, what's it done? I mean, here's the beginning of the year. We had this nice run, and we're sideways for quite some time. And the only other thing, and remember, Blake, you had a Gartley, and I just had a fib number on the Dow. It still can't make a new high.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I mean, this is I've read a lot of different analysis over the course of the last several weeks about, this divergence between, the leadership and everybody else. And, most people and most analysis that I've read that have really sat down and gone through the numbers, just they come to the conclusion that it can extend for a while.
yeah,
It is not uncommon. I mean, we do see leadership. This is this
concentrated.
this development is not rare, but boy, is it, and it can go on longer. It's just something that we don't see often, but when it happens, it doesn't necessarily mean that the market will turn. As you just said, oh, Nvidia is not going up, but there are some other companies that have taken the role, and you've seen, other stocks kind of lead the charge now. So
Yeah, I heard a stat that up here, or 5,600, I don't know, 50, we're at 200% of GDP in the market, which is historic. It's never been there.
I really,
Yeah,
okay. I'd like to see that. I don't, and
I
I don't
think it
know.
was Steve Miller in one of his videos. Asked Slim, said that up here at these levels, it's 200% of GDP,
Huh.
the market.
All right.
So
Well,
anyway,
anyway,
I don't even know what that means anyway.
Yeah, I don't know either. So,
It sounds
thinking about it,
outrageous, but I
it
don't know,
does, it sounds like some statistic that, well, the market should be wrong, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
So, the one thing that I've noticed here is the S&P is up at the 161% extension just of its last consolidation. I mean,
Okay.
that's you'd have to go intraday, but that
Yeah.
last little shelf of
Right.
support, I mean, it, we're just continuing to extend. And I guess the question I want to ask, Ryan and Kman, do you guys think that that Powell's going to say anything today that could rock the boat?
He could do. It's always possible. Everything's possible. Will he? Probably not. These things tend to be just a rehash of the last FOMC and any last speeches that have been made, so we know where they are. Has anything changed in the meanwhile? Not really. I think this is more going to be a political show because of the election. So all the politicians, are going to be pushing their various agendas. Powell, why can't you cut rates, and why can't you do this, and why can't you do that? And he's got to walk the line between independency and trying to pander to some of these politicians. But there's always a risk he says something. We'll get the text shortly, probably in the next 30 minutes, 40 minutes of his testimony, and then we'll see if there's anything in that.
Will I get that on my phone? That text?
Yeah, if you're logged in.
All right.
You
Ryan,
got Pal's number, have you? Is he on speed
Yeah.
dial?
So I know that you're, now short Canada. How much room are you going to give it on the upside before you think that maybe that's the wrong way to be?
Yeah, I was maybe going to look to run it up to one, the high 137s again, but I'm short at 23, I think it is 22, 23, 136. So I might just lob it out if we go through 50. That's my level here at the moment. So I might just take my medicine on that and then see if it does rally a bit higher. And maybe try and get it up nearer that high 137s, 138. Just purely play the range.
Yeah. Okay. So Blake, people have missed your charts.
You want me to take over? Well, the thing is,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be doing a little cleanup here as we go through everything. One of the benefits, and I'll just say this really quick, is when I first sit down, and I've been away for like a week, just being able to just scroll through all 30 instruments here and just kind of get caught up on analysis and where everything's at, where all the key levels are, has been pretty important. And then, I have to come through and just kind of, do my own work. But it's really nice to be able to do that. But let me ask you this, Ryan. So you're short dollar CAD at this point, or at least you're thinking it's going to break lower. Yeah.
Yeah. I took a little short after the NFP on Friday.
Okay. The thing is, and this has been where my skepticism has been with the Canadian, is if you look at the COT positioning, and the market is just extremely bearish Canadian dollar. So they were eventually looking for a break higher. And if you just scroll out a little bit about that with the dollar CAD, I mean, we're at the upper end of a, longer term consolidation, and really, move below the 200 DMA and move below here I think would be very bearish. And so I'm in your camp right now. I think that it is a decent short, just trying to find a, good place to be on the short side. Is the way I would be looking at it now.
So most people are long basis of the COT. They're
long dollar CAD. They're short Canadian dollars.
Right. That's what I mean. So if we broke down, there'd be a lot of liquidation fuel.
Yes, that is correct. So that's why I've actually been more in the camp of buying it down here longer term, somewhere down here. But I wasn't sure it was going to break down. But when you start to see all these other commodity currencies, let me just reference the Aussie dollar, just so everybody sees. The Aussie's above this multi-year trend line. The Kiwi dollar is threatening a break above the multi-year trend line. You've got sterling that is broken out technically, even though it hasn't broken the 128 level. It's broken this this triangle consolidation, following the election. So you look at the dollar as a whole, and the dollar looks vulnerable. I think the dollar CAD could break. Now the question is what I would be thinking, Ryan, just since you are short, is the 38% retracement just of that NFP, or is that fully NFP, or is that the day before? I'm not. I've been gone for a week.
No, we had the ISM and everything.
Got it.
Yeah, we sort of made the low, and then it bounced on there because the market didn't really take that NFP. It did, and it didn't take that NFP as bad news. So that's why we got but the bounce is very weak. It's glued between 36.25 and 36.50 at the moment. I'm running sell stops below 135.80 because that's the cruncher.
Yeah, I was going to say, one of the issues that Canada has too is the Canadian employment wasn't good. I mean, it looked horrible. So I don't know, but just technically speaking, the way I would be looking at it is a break above that resistance. You just said 136.50, and you're like, well, I might just cut out of it. I would think that the market tries to do that. It tries to push everybody, all the shorts out, and then it should hit a wall of selling right around this 38% retracement right here. So just, you know, let it pop the stops above 50, let it trade to about 60, 65, you know, and then look for a short and for an eventual breakdown. I think that's how I'm going to play it this morning. So Ryan, if you're covering it, I might actually sell it to you.
Well, now you're looking to profit from my misery. I might not.
I am.
I might not give you the
Ryan
rope.
just decided to double up there.
Yeah. Tell me where your offer's going in. I'm going to go a pip ahead of
it. Hey, you know, I know we have a big crowd here this morning, and it's nice to be back. I want to show everybody this. It's funny because I was visiting one of my old friends. I've known him since 5th grade, and I know his family and everything else. And here's a picture of all of us at sunset, you know, and he lives like literally right up like you can walk to here, but this is like looking at Sunset Cliffs in San Diego or Point Loma. But we were at his house, and we stayed the night, and he brought out this old photo of that's him, and that's me. Obviously, that's my wife and his ex-girlfriend, who ironically happens to live right down the street from him 30 years later. But that's some of you might know who that is.
Yeah,
Mr. Miyagi.
Pat Morita.
That's right. That's right. And he was singing karaoke, Dale, of all things, at the MGM. And we were
you
walking
had white
by.
spikes in your hair.
Yeah, that was in 2000. Yeah, that was 2000. I actually was a partner at our brokerage firm at that point too.
All right. Well, what was with the white spikes there in your hair, bro?
You know, it was cool. It was cool back then. Anyway, that was in the ForexAnalytix chat room. But Pat Morita was he was singing karaoke as we were walking through, and we were like, oh my God, is that Mr. Miyagi? So we stopped and talked to him he was so wasted. He was so drunk. But we sat there and we chatted with him for like 15 minutes. He was really
singing. Could he sing?
His singing wasn't bad.
Okay.
Yeah. Funny guy. Anyway, when my friend dug up that old picture, I thought it was the funniest thing. Anyway, all right, let's a couple other things that I've also noticed is this dollar yen continues to be really strong, holding above 160, not backing away. Kman, are we in any threat right now? I mean, looking at other yen pairs too, not just the dollar yen. You know, you've got them all just pegged towards their highs. Is the BOJ even worried at this point? Do they care?
Well, MOF is certainly worried, but then we just had news from the BOJ. They had their first meeting with the market participants, and market participants, especially the mega banks, seem to be pushing for a slightly bigger QT or a reduction in the JGB buying by the Bank of Japan, but it was all very vague. Yen reacted just smalls, but as you showed there, every time we come back to the 160.25, it's bid. So the market is for sure not on board with anything more hawkish in regards to the yen, but I'd say come closer to the Bank of Japan meeting, we may see a bit more corrective activity or speculation that the Bank of Japan may go a little bigger on that reduction, even come up with another hike. So I think for right now, I'd say rangy rather than outright bullish dollar yen. The problem is, and we've spoken about that so often, is that if you're too early long yen, it's costing money all the time, and that's the problem, you know, and that's why one of the reasons why all those yen crosses are higher. And if you want to know what the dollar yen is going to do, just look at all the yen crosses. They stick to their highs, and they are not giving back much, if anything at all. So yeah, it's just I guess the world, not the world, but I guess still there's a lot of people still long carry, and for the time being, they are not being bothered too much, right? They can just hang on to it and react when it will be it will be time to react, I reckon.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? It's just like you deal with it on a breakdown or any any yen rally, if you see it, you're going to see it across the spectrum of all the yen pairs, and I guess you just have to wait for it. So also one of the other, and thank you, Kman, for that. One of the other things, obviously just sitting here from afar this last week, just looking at the S&P continuing to grind higher. This is that 161% extension, Dale.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. I mean, it was just consolidation, never broke down, held support. My alarms never even went off on my phone, and I have this on mobile too. And they just held. So the next extension was the 161% extension. Here we are, just pegged to it. And in my opinion, it looks like the S&P can go even farther. Like,
Yeah, a lot
why
of people
not?
are talking you're 2.6 up there at 56.75 now.
Yeah, I mean, why can't we see 56, 56.75? Why not? I mean,
yeah,
I would assume we're well above the 161% extension of this move.
Wouldn't you have thought VIX would have made a new low with this recent run? Check it out, Blake. It hasn't.
Yeah, I mean, you would think, but at the same time,
Not far away,
volatility is, I think, going to just remain low just because we're in the summer months now. So, there was an interesting piece that I just read on FX volatility should pick up in the month of July. It tends to, and this year we're probably going to see volatility really come in after the summer months, because we do have a major election upcoming. And with I don't even want to talk politics right now, but as you all know, it's a bit of a crap show over here. So there should be some volatility surrounding the markets over the course of the next couple of months, and it really should tick up. And you would think it ticks up sometime this summer. So that was
everyone was worried about elections in UK, Blake, and France, but the difference between those countries and the US, I didn't hear any of the contestants saying it was rigged and it's not valid, that it was stolen. They were able to execute elections. And now we're at this point in the US where whatever the result is going to be challenged like it was
100%.
last year.
And you've got to, I'm sure you're going to have this conversation with Harold Malmgren in a moment, because he's going to talk about political risk and geopolitical risk. And you guys should listen to Harold and Dale's interview in a moment. I'm going to stick around as long as I can to try to listen to that one too, because I think he's going to have some great insights on what to expect. And I know Pippa's been making his daughter Pippa's been making the rounds recently too, discussing some of the political and market risks in the market. Anyway, I'm going to leave that to him. But let's talk about the UK, by the way. So the Labour government, Ryan, Kman, you guys are all, obviously prim and proper Brits over there. No one contested the outcome. You got Labor's in charge. So what happens with sterling now? I mean, it should be net positive for the UK economy, you would think, and maybe the sterling. What do you think, Ryan?
It still remains to be seen. We need to get budgets and that sort of thing. But so far, it's been taken positively. We had the new Chancellor telling us that no income tax or VAT taxes would be hiked. So where they're going to steal the money from is still a big unknown. Fitch was out saying that it all looks good. The proof's going to be in the pudding, and that's for the months ahead. But I think sterling should remain, decently bid, particularly if the dollar's looking a bit weaker.
Right.
And then versus the euro if if there's problems in France.
You're on.
I don't have sound.
Oh,
well, you're not on yet, Harold.
I actually had to mute him just really quick. But
all right.
Yeah, just because maybe he doesn't hear us. Maybe you might want to just chat with him real quick, and Dale, I'll handle it from here. Sorry about that, Ryan. Thank you for the update. Now, are you still short your euro sterling? Because I'm still holding my short position from a wee bit higher, actually close to 85. But are you still short?
Yeah, I'm still short up there. I chopped out my 61s in the dip the other day, so I'm just short the same as you, up at 84.95.
Okay, yeah, then that's basically where I'm short just a few pips below that. And just looking, and by the way, if you guys don't know, the positions we're in, you can just go over to the trades room and you can, I actually just updated some of the positions that I took over the weekend. I'm not gonna let you guys see that. You guys can come in and see it in the trades room, but you can see in the trades room, all of traders when we're putting things. Kman uses this quite a bit and keeps an update running log on what he's in. And Ryan does too. And so if you want to know more, just make sure you go to ForexAnalytix.com, jump in our chat room. Anyway, we have this ABCD, and I think this is doable. It's not going to happen today or tomorrow, but given the fact that we held 85 pence, it was a 38% retracement, and it held really well. It says eventually, technically we should trade down below 83. And if you look longer term, that's not like uncharted territory. Do you think the sterling can outpace the euro that much? I'll ask Kman. What do you think here?
Yeah, I actually re-entered short, but I'm still a bit long cable as well. I think versus the euro, I think it should continue to do okay. By the way, the 200 monthly average in euro sterling is right where we are here now, and if you look at the monthly cloud, it's capped, I think, around 85 as well. So there's a lot going on right in this area in euro sterling. So if we would get like a monthly close below, without labor coming up with anything specific, we may be in for another slide lower. And it held really well on the retest up to 85, right? So the stop is quite clear. It goes back above 85 and it holds. No reason to be short anymore. But in the meantime, it looks very weak.
And I'm glad you pointed that out, because we were just, I'm going to share with you guys something here. This is in the general chat room, not the trades room. I was having a conversation with one of our traders about Bitcoin, and this is you can go not just in the chat room. There's side threads, right? So I put the Bitcoin update there. Whoops, I guess it wasn't that one. Here. Bubble Boy asked about thoughts on Bitcoin, longs. And so we were, taking a look and, talking it all out. When you trade, when you're looking at the markets, whether it's Bitcoin or whether it's, euro sterling or whatever, what we can control as traders is our risk. So as long as you know where the risk is at, everything else, whether it's macro or whether it's, some sort of, economic data, whatever the case it is, that all will fall into place. But knowing where your risk is the most important thing. And we were just talking about that regarding Bitcoin this morning, knowing exactly where your risk is in the Bitcoin market. Euro sterling is the same way. Just what Kman said. As long as it held 85 pence, as long as it stays below 85, you know exactly where you're wrong. And as traders, really identifying that is so important. That's why, when you go in and you're in a community like ours, you talk to us or other traders in the community and just, try to identify those points. If you can identify those points, the break points in the market, where they are and where you're wrong, that's the most important thing in my view. Obviously, knowing where, different economic data, what's coming out like today with Powell's speech, that's all very important as well. But technically speaking, knowing, where you're wrong, that's going to help your profitability bottom line. So anyway, it's nice to be back. Dale, I know you have your interview here with Harold, and I don't want to take away from that. Ryan, Kman, thank you guys for being around. And I know you participated more in F.A.C.E while I was gone this last week. So thank you guys so much. And Dale, thanks for being here as well. I hope you had a wonderful 4th of July. I'm going to pass you over to Harold and Dale. But before I do that, remember, if you take a trader funding program one-on-one, trader funding program assessment this month of July, you will get a one-on-one consultation with me, 45-minute consultation. I'm actually reaching out to all the ones that had already taken that this last week, and I'll be meeting with them hopefully later this week. So I'm going to be reaching out this morning via email. All right, you guys have a great one. Thank you, Dale, and have a great interview.
Good to have you back, Pipzar.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Nice to be back in the 115-degree weather. Woohoo!
Yeah, I know. Back to the oven, buddy. So, Harold Malmgren, really nice to have you back. Can you hear me, Harold? I'm going to ask you to unmute now. Whoever's working with you said you lost sound. I don't know why you would lose sound. Can you hear me? I hear you moving around. You're unmuted right now, Harold.
I'm wondering if he needs to go out and come back in again.
Okay,
If he's
so
not.
they unmuted you.
And I hear someone who's working with you. Is that Pippa? Is your daughter
Did you
working
type
with you?
this?
No,
Okay. all right.
Yeah, I hear you guys. But you guys can't hear us.
there's a microphone there.
Okay. But they can't hear us. To tell them to do that. Call them on WhatsApp. Yeah, I know, Mandy, you have all your encrypted conversations there because you don't want anyone to know. Right? Okay. Shoot. Harold?
Dale, we have a call-in number too. I can let me if let's see. I'm gonna try to give it to him really quick. Hold on.
Okay.
Um,
Could be the headset versus the mic. Yeah. Because I heard them right away, but they said they couldn't hear our audio was the issue.
okay, let me
Okay,
see
so
here.
that's what they're saying. Harold cannot hear the meeting.
There's he can I just sent him a message.
All right. They want you to call in on
There we go.
use this.
I just sent them the
Okay.
the audio.
Okay, whoever's helping him,
They want you
got
to
it.
call in using any of those numbers.
But
I don't know if he's
can you
wearing
do
a
it?
headset.
I have no idea how to do that, Dad.
Oh, it is Pippa. Or another daughter.
I can't read any number right
Okay,
now.
they can hear you.
You can hear me,
Yeah,
but I can't hear you.
right. Check setting left below. Oh, they can't hear it. I see Harold's name up there. There he is. Can you hear us, Harold? Can you hear us, Harold? You still can't hear us.
You know, Dale, maybe you can actually text him or send your questions directly to him and just type and say hello.
Okay. Never done with it. I hear. All right, we're gonna have to reschedule this.
I'm actually typing with them right now.
I just sent him a question. you didn't notice it. So I'll get him back on.
Test 1, 2, testing. See if they can hear.
I could tell. Yeah, he looks good.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
looks sharp. And what's even sharper than his hair is his mind.
Right.
Okay, so anyway, I surrender. How about you, Blake?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's unfortunate. I know his daughter's sitting there trying to
I wonder if that's Pippa.
No, that is not.
Okay. What's Pippa been saying?
Well, she met with the where did I see her just recently? It was like literally a week ago. Oh, what is his name? The guy he's out of Connecticut, and geez, I
Bernie
have to think.
Sanders?
No. He's a you know, young blonde guy. He's got a he's like got a hedge fund. But I'm trying to think. Boy, you put me on the spot right now, Dale.
All
And
right.
I can see him, but I can't. I can see him in my mind. I just can't. I
It's
can't
okay.
think of his name right at this moment because it's.
All right, everybody. I'm gonna get a hold of Harold and reschedule, and I'll get him back as soon as possible. We won't have to wait 3 months for the cycle to play out, and
Yeah, that's
you know, maybe I'll set up a Zoom session to make sure he has everything right. Anyway, it's unfortunate, but good hunting, everyone, today, and it's great to be back at full strength. We have, you know, keep in mind that we have CPI and I believe PPI Friday. I think those are the market movers this week, unless Paul surprises. And Dale, how could you not know that there wasn't a Fed meeting this week? Anyway, maybe I could coordinate and have both him and Pip on. So we'll try and turn lemons into lemonade. Oh, this is his daughter. Give me one phone number to call in on.
and well, it would be the top phone number. So
Okay.
let's see here. Hosts and panelists. It would be the top phone number, and then use the webinar
Okay, so we'll wait.
ID. So hold on, Dale. Let me just. She's trying to.
Dad,
Let's see.
call this number to dial in.
Yeah. Here we go.
Read it to me.
1-646-931-3860.
Yeah. They're gonna get hooked up, Dale.
Well, that is persistence.
That is. It's great.
Oh, they gave me a different. They gave me a different number. Here.
That is the
Yeah.
webinar
Okay.
ID.
1-720
Yeah.
707.
Yeah. So she Dale, that's the
This
Zoom
is show business.
This is show business.
Live.
Yeah. So, and yeah, handling it all live. Hopefully they're able to connect via audio. So
We'll give it a couple minutes and then that's it. So I keep some Fridays open just for this reason. This Friday I have it booked, but I'll get him in next week.
yeah. Well, let's see if
This isn't happening.
Well,
Brand knows I love talking to Harold. Well, how many guys can you talk to that were in cabinet meetings with John F. Kennedy nowadays.
Right. I mean, that's pretty cool.
It was pretty connected.
Yeah.
During the Cuban Missile Crisis, he got a message. The meeting is okay.
Okay.
I'll just tell them we'll reschedule.
Okay. Sounds
All right,
good, Dale.
buddy.
All right. Thanks,
Get
guys.
back glad to have you back in the saddle. Everyone, we'll see you tomorrow. And I'll reschedule Harold for his interview a week from Friday is my best guess right now.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.
All right. See you guys. And remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Get in the room with traders that are better than you, especially if you're, in your 5th year or lower of trading. Your learning curve will accelerate. I guarantee you that. Adios. Have a good day, everyone.